Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. And you're probably wondering, why are we back at the start of the regular season? Well, I made a bit of a big mistake in last episode. I didn't even realize until I was recording episode 3, but I had the Anaheim Ducks rosters set to their 1994 rosters from my 1994 roster build. So basically, instead of having online rosters, I had it set to custom rosters when we started the franchise mode, and I didn't even realize until then. So we're going to have a re-season simulation, which means also we're going to be having a new coach. We're also going to have a new draft class, all that stuff. So forget everything you knew about episode 2. That stuff is all out of the out of this franchise mode. And yeah, basically I did decide to set the scouting to auto instead. Because that way we could get seasons done a bit quicker, because I found manual scouting just slows down the franchise mode a lot. And I would rather get through seasons kind of quick in a sense, but not too quick. Also, just because I made that huge mistake, I decided to kind of reward you guys with a little gift for this franchise mode. And that gift is Mr. Cole Caufield is now in this franchise mode series. As you can see, he's a 72 overall medium top 6. Basically the same potential as what Tugi24 gave in his roster editing spectacular. So I decided to throw him into this just to make it up to you guys. Hopefully you guys like that. So here's all his individual stats. I gave him some good shooting categories, some good offensive stats, and then also I made him a really good skater because he's a very small guy for a forward. And I made his physical stats really bad because obviously only at 157 pounds, he's not going to be that physical. So hopefully he grows into being a stud for us, because we do need a right wing prospect, and he's definitely going to be our number 1 right winger in a few years, because he's already a 72 at 18. So now that you guys are caught up kind of where we are, we need to also show you guys the new draft class and the new coaching staff, and then we will start up the season simulation. I would like to get as close to the trade deadline as possible, just because we made a huge mistake. So here is the new draft class. So Alexis Lafreniere is to go first, but there is 2 new people here, including Caleb Coletta and Paul Mahalik. We also have Terry Dunham. So it seems like some Americans are getting into the draft class, it looks like, which is kind of good. Lawrence Habishide. I'll just go through the entire first round so you guys can see. So it looks like a lot more Americans are in the draft, and also this Boris Valentenko guy from Russia. Same with Ulnov. We also should check to make sure we have the right amount of scouts, because usually there's a team that's always missing a few scouts. So let's do that after the coaching staff, because we do have a new coach, so we don't have that French guy anymore. But we do have a French name, and that is, what's his name? Jean Lemaire. No, that is the same guy, isn't it? Huh. I think it is the same guy. So I guess we don't have a new coaching staff, maybe. Maybe we have new assistant coaches, but we have the same starting coach. I thought it was randomized at the start, but I guess not. So yeah, Jean Lemaire is still our coach, which is good, because I'm pretty sure he was the same one. Unless he just has the same game face, I can't remember. So let's go to assign scout and see if there's any scouts we actually need. So we got a rest of the world, which is kind of weird. Liga, SHL. We don't have one for the Extra Liga. We don't have one for USA East and Russia. Yeah, that's what we need. Extra Liga, USA East and Russia. Okay. Got to get those done first so we can get some good prospects in. Hopefully we have a pretty bad season. So USA East, this guy's good enough. I don't really care if they're worst in an A, to be honest, but so Russia, and I said Extra Liga. Is this guy good in Russia? B, that's not the greatest. Another B. There's an A, I might as well get him, because I'm fine with the A's, as long as they're not C or below, it's kind of fine. And then we also need a Czech Republic scout for the Extra Liga. I could technically get other scouts as well, but I'll just get the Extra Liga guy. B. There usually isn't a lot of players that actually are in Republic, so this guy's not going to do much of a job, but whatever. So those 3 guys are brought in, hopefully. Well, more than likely they will be. Let's make our quick tweak into our lineup, because at the start of episode 2, we also made a line change, which was putting Jonathan Drouin into the second line and putting Paul Byron up, and then putting Tatar up or down, and then putting Gallagher up. I think it was, or maybe it was like this. Wait, maybe it's changed since, because it's a different roster update than when I originally started this with. But everything else looks good, I think. Why is this a -1? What if I went like that? Yeah, that works better. So guys that I'm willing to trade still, like in episode 2, I said Ben Sherratt's definitely a guy to move out. Shea Weber, obviously. I don't really want to move out Carey Price just yet, but maybe eventually. Thomas Tatar maybe next season, because he's got one more year left after this, I think. And then also, obviously, down in the AHL, I wouldn't mind moving out Carl Olsner. So if you guys have suggestions for trades, let me know. We probably look at the trade finder closer to the deadline to see potential trades that we could do, and then I'll let you guys suggest if we should do them. So let's do this entire preseason and see what our owner goals are like. 41 sellouts, and we're still as hopeful. Okay, good. Because when I was recording for the second time and then I had audio technical difficulties, it said we were supposed to get to the third round, which was kind of like weird as heck. I'm going to make sure those scouts are assigned to the right leagues first, just because I don't want those guys scouting the wrong leagues. Get as much prospects scouted as possible at the draft. Find those like hidden gems potentially. Okay, so let's make sure. So Mahal USA East. So we got to change his region. Yeah, this episode might be a bit long just because we're trying to catch up to where we would have been at the end of the last episode. So closer to, well, maybe even a bit farther ahead. USA East for them, and then Extra Liga is correct, and then the other guy was for Russia. Yep. Okay, everything else is good. Hopefully we get some good draft prospects, because we like Cole Caufield is definitely our best prospect at the moment. We also have Suzuki in the minors. Like, we could build a pretty good team, I think. Like, if we have like Suzuki, Caulfield, we keep Kotkaniemi. Like, we do have some good prospects. It's just about moving out those really bad contracts like Shea Weber's and whatnot. So it looks like our trading block needs to be edited as well. Yeah, I'm going to edit our trading block, guys, and I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, guys, so I edited our trading block. So we got Weber, Tatar, and Olsner on the block, and then our surplus is we're giving up anybody 28 and higher, like for age, and then we're wanting anybody that's 17 to 27. So hopefully we get some offers for that type of idea. If not, like I said, we'll do some trade finding stuff closer to the deadline. So we had a really good preseason, going 5-2. Let's go up to the start of the regular season. I'm going to try and fly by through a lot of the simulation, like consecutively. Like, I would like to get up to at least like February 1st in this episode, so that way we have like a month or so, or just under a month till the deadline, and then we'll do some all that sort of thing. See how this team is, like if we are close to making a playoff spot, or we are in a playoff spot currently. We might try and trade for another player to help us out with a playoff run, or we could probably choose our own fate and miss the playoffs if we want to. But I would prefer to finish really low in the standings so we could have a better chance of getting a good prospect, because imagine having a line of like Lafreniere, who else? Damn, Carey Price has already been injured for a long time, so that's gonna help out if we want to tank. I'm not going to trade Thomas Tatar this early in the season, but he could be a player we move at the deadline this year or next year, because he still has 1 year left after this year. But just so you guys know, what was I even saying now? Like, we want to have a bad season, kind of, because we want to have, like, if we could get Lafreniere with, like, playing with Cole Caufield, I think that dynamic duo could be really good, because I believe Lafreniere is like a playmaker if he has the same player type as he did in NHL 19. And then if you add Cole Caufield, the sniper, to that line, that's going to be insane. And then we just need technically like maybe Suzuki between the two of them. Like, I would rather just grow this team on like EA generated guys and then players at the draft almost to an extent, because I don't know about you guys, but I really like it when you draft players and then you build up a team that well, not keeping around the same guys all the time around. So, like some guys that I might keep around for a while are players like Drouin, Domi could stay around, maybe Gallagher. Kotkaniemi is definitely staying around. Paling, I think it's pronounced. I mispronounced that in the first episode. He's gonna probably stay. Maybe Lehkonen for a bit. There's a few guys that I wouldn't mind keeping around, but there's some guys that I definitely want to remove. Like Shea Weber's definitely a guy I wouldn't mind trading away as soon as possible. Like when I was doing one of the test simulations, I got offered what was it? I would trade Shea Weber to the Flames. I think it was. Yeah, it was to the Flames for 2 firsts and Oliver Shillington, which I think would have been a really good trade. But unfortunately, that episode had an error in it, like really badly, like the roster error I was mentioning earlier. So I couldn't have kept that episode just because I had to like restart the series in general. So 2 fourths and Nate Thompson for a third, that's not really worth it. Nate Thompson is solid enough on the 4th line, I think. We are getting a lot of injuries, which is weird because I do have the injuries set to like 9 out of 100. So I don't know why that is. We are 9-12-4 so far, and Jonathan Drouin's injured. I'm just trying to hope this team has like a bad season because I think we need more prospects than anything. Like, I got a comment saying that the bottom 6 is the reason Montreal is not that good is because they need a whole different bottom 6, which I kind of agree with, but at the same time, I think this team isn't as good as people say they are. Not to be mean to you Montreal fans, because I just don't want to be mean to you guys, because I know you guys could get pretty mad sometimes. So how are we doing in terms of stuff? So Kotkaniemi is leading the way, 20 points so far. We are only 6 points back of the last playoff spot, so we're not having a horrific season. But then again, our entire division, when you think about it, 9 points separating last and third place, that's not that much. Let's take a look at the draft class so far, see if anybody's getting scouted properly. Yeah, so Kaleta and Mahalik are both medium elites, those guys that go after Lafreniere. Lafreniere is looking like he's supposed to go second, but he's probably going to switch to first, I would assume. So here is Kaleta. He looks like a pretty good player. He's like a Brent Burns, apparently. We got Paul Mahalik, 2-way forward, who's like Jonathan Taves. That guy should be interesting as well. Quite a few other guys in this draft. I don't think this guy is real, if I'm not mistaken. Unless he's somebody that just recently got added with a roster update. I don't think he's real though, because Lander is from Anton Lander. I don't think there's any other Landers in the SHL, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we're kind of running low on time. Let's try and get these last 2 months done. So let's go all the way to February the 1st, even though that's another 2 months. See if we could get this team maybe winning a couple games. Like, I don't want to win too much. So Deno's going to go back into the lineup. He's probably another one of these guys that are probably going to be out soon. Like, maybe not yet, but like I would rather be playing Ryan Paling on the 3rd line eventually, like maybe next season, if Paling grows. Because he's only got like a low top 6 potential, I think. Unless they changed him with the roster update kind of thing. So we're playing pretty much 500 hockey right now, which is not too bad. Which is kind of good in a sense, though, because if we play around 500, then we trade away like Shea Weber, we'll probably fall off a cliff, and we'll drop into standings a lot. Multiple players are back, so that is Carey Price, and who else was injured? I don't even remember. Wait, why is Philippe Deneau on the top line? That's weird. So Jonathan Drouin, there you go. Oh no, it has that stupid glitch thing. We need to put somebody else in that spot. No, maybe not. Let's put in... What the heck? Oh, I hate that glitch. I think it's a glitch at least. Where you put in somebody and then they replace multiple players. So we're going to have to go best lines at this point. And then change that around. Don't know why they want to put Kotkaniemi down there on the 4th line. But let's switch this around so we can get those lines set back to normal. So I think that's better. Who has scratch currently? Nate Thompson. I liked actually having Thompson in the lineup, to be honest. Because Nate Thompson was... Yeah, I think Nate Thompson could play on our lineup. I would rather him in the lineup than Matthew Pekka. Because Thompson at least has, like, experience and whatnot. And in the lineup, Victor Mete, everything else I think is good. But actually, Sherrod was supposed to go to the top 6. There you go. I don't know why that line glitch happens, but whatever. Yeah, this team's not doing the greatest, but we're still staying close to 500. But like I said, I'm going to try and trade away Shea Weber, I think, this season, because you guys were suggesting I can. And I wasn't sure if you guys wanted me to or not, because I know a lot of Montreal fans really like Shea Weber, but at the same time, his contract is kind of a bit out there. And this team is playing good now. All of a sudden, we're above 500, 22, 18, and 5. But I wouldn't mind making a trade in next episode, at least, like trading away Shea Weber, who just got injured. Also, sorry if this episode sounds a bit rushed. It might sound a bit rushed just because I am kind of pissed off at how I made those mistakes earlier in this franchise mode. So Daniel Audette, you're out of the lineup. Former NHLer's son. Because I think Donald Audette used to be... Yeah, Donald Audette's his dad, I'm pretty sure. And I think Donald Audette actually played for the Habs at one point, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of neat. Shea Weber is back, which is kind of good because I don't think teams like trading for injured players. But then again, I don't know how this franchise mode will simulate with that type of thing. Because it would make more sense, though, if like computer, like AIs didn't want to trade for injured players or something like that. But I don't think that's a thing in this franchise mode. And we're kind of tanking a bit more. And at February the 1st, we are 24, 23, and 5. So not too bad of a record. Like, it's, I think, maybe in a playoff spot or maybe just outside of a playoff spot. No, actually, it's a pretty big gap. The last playoff spot actually currently has, 62 points in our division, which is quite far ahead of us. So at this point, I think it's safe to say that we should probably make some trades next episode and offload some of these older guys. So let's take a look at the trading blocks around the league. Also, maybe find some trades. So let's do the finding trades first. See if we could get entries for potential guys like Shea Weber. So Shea Weber, any trade offers for him? Yes, we can. And holy crap. This is an even more insane offer than the last one I was mentioning with Shillington. So, Calgary is willing to give up Oliver Shillington, who grows to like an 83 top 4, which is pretty good. They're also willing to give up Jacob Pelletier, who they just drafted in real life recently. He's got top 6-4 potential. They're also willing to give up Tyler Parsons, who's a goaltending prospect, and 2 seconds. Like, I might be able to switch it around so I could get 2 first with Shillington instead of getting all those other guys. But, I mean, Pelletier is not that bad, and bringing in a French-Canadian that could be interesting. Parsons, I think, was like a 68, so I don't think he's going to grow to being an actual starter, but who knows. And then the other offer was a first-round pick, Shillington and Pelletier. So, I might actually take that second one more than the first one, because I don't really need Parsons, I think. Because Parsons, I don't know if he'll grow. And then instead of getting 2 seconds, we're getting back a first-round pick. That could be intriguing. So let me know what you guys think about that trade down below, because I think that's one I want to do. So first, Shillington and Pelletier for Weber. Yeah, I think that one would be one I would do. Like, this other one is really good too, but I might take the second one over that one. So yeah, let me know what you guys think with that one. Then our second guy that we want to move was Carl Alzner. I doubt there's any offers. There is no trade offers, not a surprise. Yeah, we might have to hold on to Alzner, which would suck. And then the other trade player that we wouldn't mind trading is Thomas Tatar, who I think was a left winger actually, right? Yeah, Thomas Tatar. See if we could get offers for him. So Calgary's also interested in him. They would offer Shillington in a third. or Peltier in a third, or Parsons a second and a third. The exact same offer pretty much, but 2021 second instead of a 2020 second. The Flyers would offer Rubstov in a third, and the Flyers would offer Morgan Frost, which is not too bad either. So I think the offers I like the most out of these ones would be Weber for like that second deal I was mentioning, and then maybe this Tatar deal, because Morgan Frost I think usually grows pretty good. Let's take a look at his overall and his age and all that. So he's 20 years old and he's already listed as a depth forward, so I think that might be a good trade to make too. 37 points in the AHL this season. Yeah, I think it wouldn't be a bad trade to trade away Thomas Tatar for just Morgan Frost this year. Because like if we make that trade where we send Weber away, we could call up Noah Juleson to replace him. And then if we trade away Thomas Tatar, we could easily call up somebody else in the minors like Charles Hudon. So let me know about those two trades, because I think we might want to do those, and then we could just like tank the rest of the year, and then we get some good young players into this organization as well. So last thing we got to do is, let's also look at the draft class, but we'll first look at the trading block, just in case there was any players out there that were not on that trade finders so far. So B.O. Gruel, he doesn't really have potential. Josh Maher is actually up to a 78, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good actually for a 21-year-old, so he's probably going to be ready soon. He could be a better player than Shillington maybe. But Shillington, I think, yeah, has better potential. Some older guys, Halak and Bacchus. Yeah, this episode's running long. Sorry about that, guys. Ukko-Pekka Lakonen, Peltier, and Watson. Reimer, Stahl, and Keeling. Seabrook and Crawford. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be that much else other than what we were just getting offered. It's a lot of older guys. I think I like those offers we were getting. Like Shillington would be a really good piece to add in, and he's also my favorite Calgary Flames player, to be honest. And then we have a good defensive prospect. Or, well, actually, he'll be in the lineup pretty much right away. Like, he'll replace Jay Weber. And we could give him power play time, too, because he's pretty good offensively. So those are all the guys on the block. Let me know what you guys think, if there's anybody that's interesting out here, or should we do those trades that we got offered. I think I want to do that Weber trade especially, and then also I'm leaning towards making that Tatar trade as well this season. So last thing we got to do, let's take a look at the player stats and draft class. So this episode might be closer to 30 minutes, and I apologize for that again. It's just because, like I said, I've been just trying to get as much of the season done as possible, and I'm just pissed off I made that huge mistake. So Kotkaniemi, 39 points this season. He's having a good year so far, and he's already listed as a second liner at 83 overall, which is kind of interesting. His medium elite potential. So Domi's getting points. Who's not putting up points so far this season for forwards? Pekka, 9 points, 25 games. Dale Weiss. A lot of these guys have like 1 year left, so it's not the biggest deal. Like Paul Byron, though, on the other hand, he might be somebody we want to move out as well, because he's got 4 years left, or well, 3 years technically after this season. Defensively, Shea Weber's been solid, but like I said, we probably will move him out, because like then if we put Shillington in, we have like basically Petrie, who we could deal next year. We'd have Mete, who's Kulak, who's kind of young. Sherratt, who I wouldn't mind moving out still. Riley, who's kind of young still, and Folan, who's just a depth guy. And then goaltending, we don't really need to move out anybody. Carey Price hasn't played that much because of his injury. And then Charlie Lindgren wasn't that good either, so I don't think I'm going to trade away any of these goalies, obviously, this season. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Montreal Canadiens franchise mode. So in next episode, we will make probably those 2 trades that I just showed you guys at the end of this episode. And then we'll sim the remainder of the year 1 regular season. And hopefully this team could get a good draft position and continue building up this like prospect pool, and hopefully we could be a good contending team within maybe 3 to 5 years, maybe I'd say. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.